everybody. I've actually forgotten what day it is. This is terrible. This is Tuesday, and we're here live. Sorry, everything just played tickety tick tick. And welcome to BBK. I'm Beryl and I am your business mentor and business coach. So today we're going to talk about, and I'm going to keep referring to my notes because that's what I'm good at doing. And also it means I don't miss anything. So come on, let's go on this journey together and have some fun. This is part 3 of a 3-part series on fear that I have put together I've had a few clients that have said overwhelm, failure, all these words are holding them back. So I thought I would bring together a series that shows you how you don't have to let it control yourself. Today I'm actually going to talk about the lovely Henry Ford. He was an amazing gentleman, which we all know, who invented the second car, not the first car. What happened if he gave up? So anyway, come on, let's go on this journey together. Let's have some fun and let's talk about, sorry, I've just realised I've got comments set off, and let's talk about all the things that we can do to help us through our limiting beliefs. What we think and what we believe in, that's in our brain, and how we can reprogram those thoughts to become the best version of ourselves. Come on, we're going to have some fun, and I'm just going to look down at my notes and see where I'm up to. So it says here, I must introduce myself. Hi, I'm Beryl from BBK Mentoring, as I explained before. I'm a personal business coach, and I help solopreneurs, small to medium businesses overcome those hurdles, those limiting beliefs that are stopping them from becoming the better version of themselves, both in business and in personal, so professionally and personally. So you get a bonus with me. So come on, let's start talking about these things. I want to start with a beautiful quote. It's actually from Henry Ford. So we're going to talk, I'll just bring my mic over so I make sure that you can hear me, and I'm going to read it. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his greatest surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Henry Ford invented, of course, the Ford car. He invented the automobile. But he invented the second one, not the first one. Charles Brady King actually bet him by about 3 months to releasing his car. So just imagine what the world would be like if we didn't have any Henry Fords. Because, oh well, I can't do this anymore. And yes, I'm using that evil word can't, because this is where I think we need to emphasize. If he gave up, we wouldn't all be driving all the massive 4-wheel drives, all the amazing cars that are out in the world. There would be so many things that would not be invented because Henry Ford did not give up when he was beaten. Also, I kind of put together a bit of a timetable on how he produced his car, how he was, I just realised, slumping down, shouldn't do that. So how he produced his amazing automobile. So shortly before midnight on a March evening in 1896, Henry Ford witnessed Charles Bradley King, a Cornell-trained engineer, drive a self-propelled automobile that he had designed. This is what Charles had designed. Sorry, I just turned the page. Henry Ford actually saw this in person, and he could have become very, very discouraged and very overwhelmed and say, what's the use of me keeping on going if somebody has already invented it? So he followed this car on his bicycle behind behind Charles as he went down the road. But his car, Charles's car, was much bigger. It was in Detroit. It was much bigger, the car capital of the world, or USA anyway. And he drove this car. He followed this car, and as he went down the road, he could have got very, very discouraged and gone backwards in where he was going, but he didn't. He waited another 3 months before his car was ready to produce. But as there were many obstacles that he faced, but when he released his automobile or his car, his car broke down at the front of a hotel, and the hotel was actually called, I can't think of what the hotel was called. Anyway, it was something like Chrysler Hotel or something. He was amazing as he broke down, and he didn't give up. He could have given up again. First off, he could have given up when Charles Bradley King gave up, or he could have but he kept persisting. He realized that he was on a winning thing, that he didn't want his mind to take over who he was. So the first problem, I've written down 3 of the problems that he came across that could have allowed him to give up, that we're not going to give up as business people. This is where, when you come with me, I allow you to have your temper tantrum. I allow you to work through your problems, but you need to reprogram your brain. So problem number 1 that Henry Ford was the car was too large to fit out of the garage door. He built it in, he was renting an apartment, and he was building it in the garage or the shed that was associated with his landlord's property. But he forgot to allow for the fact that the car needed to go through the doors. So what did he do? He didn't give up again. He got a sledgehammer and he knocked the door out and made it wider so that the car could drive out of the garage and he could go on his first ride by himself. There was nobody watching him. He did this all on his own. Now, the second part that he did with this, actually he took an axe. I said sledgehammer, but it was an axe. But who cares? He made the hole bigger. This is what we can do if we don't allow ourselves the fear of giving up. The second problem, while driving the car, it broke outside of the Cadillac Hotel. So it was called Cadillac. And just think, I should have researched this. I'm definitely not a car person, but I'm fairly sure that he eventually produced a Cadillac car. So take note. He invented something, but he could have given up again then, but this was a minor problem and it was just a wire that was loose. He fixed it and off he went again. But he could have let all these things that were getting in his way of first being beaten to the first car and then too large to get out of the garage door or the shed door, and then the car broke down. These could have been all reasons for him in his mind to not produce, not keep going. But what he did do was he'd already reprogrammed his brain for success. He had gone through the thoughts and the limiting beliefs. And I bet you he threw a holy wobble, temper tantrum, toddler temper tantrum. That's too many. That's far too many T's for my mouth. And he could have given up. And where would we be? We wouldn't actually have the cars that we have today if he gave up. And what he inspires me, and this is how he inspires me, because he was doing this because he wanted to get the country people to meet with the city people. The country people were stuck where they were because they could only get around through horse and cart. And then his father worked on the land. His father worked hard. So he invented a tractor. See, so already we've gone from a car to a tractor. He got the city to meet with the country, and he helped the country people out. But the amazing thing about his car, which was it was lighter, it was more maneuverable. My mouth's not working today. Than the car that Charles had made, that Charles Brady King made. So therefore it was more suited to the country lifestyle. And he's allowed us to have the freedom that we have today to drive most of the places in the world. So I've written down here, I said, if he gave up, he wouldn't have become an inventor and even an innovator. There would be no Fords. Here are just some of the things that he achieved from this one little thing that he did not give up. He got the Model T assembly line. It's where he could mass produce these cars. He did the $5 day where people were actually getting paid enough to work. And he became an innovator in the car industry. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, don't let fear conquer who you are. We can all put up our limiting beliefs. I know for a fact that after my husband passed away, I put up all these fears, all these reasons why I shouldn't be the person I am. But hey, guess what? I'm me because I'm me. This is what you get when you work with me, by the way, a little bit. Don't get me wrong. There are times to be serious, but we also need to celebrate. We celebrate the little wins along the way. And I bet you that Henry Ford celebrated when that car broke down and he got the little wire to join back together. And I bet you, instead of having a temper tantrum, he actually partied. He would have done his little jig and go, yeah, we're on the way. We can do this. My fear is I've pushed that aside. I'm not going to let fear of failure stop me. I'm going to keep going. So I kept looking at my notes. So I don't want you to stop growing. I want you to work with me. I want you to let's do this adventure together. Let's become what you want to become in your business, in your life. This is what life is about. Life is actually about having fun. What did you learn? When you failed or you made a boo-boo, what did you learn from that boo-boo? I learn from every one of my boo-boos, and this is what I teach my clients. This is what we go through. We allow the temper tantrum. We allow the limiting thoughts for 5 minutes, and then I haven't got my whiteboard here, and then we put on the little whiteboard and we start writing down the things that we learned from it. I learned so much last week on how technology can go down the gurgler. I could have let it beat me, but instead I still went live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I had boo-boos every day. There was one day where Facebook decided I wasn't allowed to even be an administrator on my account. I didn't let that stop me. I went into Facebook Live and I went into the main area where I'm doing this video now, and I said, hey, come on. And this was with the beautiful Tiff, who is actually on with me now from Tiffany G Studios. This is where Tiffany actually helped me. She supported me and she goes, come on, we can do this. We're just going to be live. We're going to be live where everybody can see us rather than in the private group. It was so much fun. But I could have given up and said, I'm not going live today because I cannot do it where I was going to do it. No, come on. This is what success is about. It's about what you learn. It's not about money. It really isn't about money. It's about having fun and enjoyment and growing to the next level. And along the way, we're going to make some money, which is really, really good. And that money, what's that money going to bring you? It's going to bring you family. It's going to bring you what you need. Hey, she said my name. Yes, I did say your name, Tiff. Sorry, Tiff put a comment in. I got confused. So I've kind of put a sort of a quick summary together, and I'm going to kind of read it because there's things on here I didn't want to miss out. So what I'm trying to say is inventors or innovators are made from taking control of your fears and anxieties, and that they let you help you smash through that income ceiling. Henry Ford never won the race to become the person that built the first automobile in Detroit, but what he did was win. He built an affordable, self-propelled vehicle that helped relieve the burden on hard farm labor, plowing the fields. He wanted to help his family. It wasn't about, well, actually his father. It wasn't about the money. It was about what he could give back to his dad. His dad was precious to him. So, and he wanted to remove the isolation from the country life to the city life. I grew up with no car. I walked everywhere, and which was quite novel, which most people could not say that they did that. So for the first 17 years of my life, we didn't have a car. And it's not as easy to walk around these days because the world is not quite, also I have to wear a mask, but you can see where I'm coming. The thing about Henry was he didn't win the race to be first, but his quadricycle was not only functional but more lightweight than the car designed by, I've actually written Care, the car designed by Charles Brady King. The thing about Henry Ford was we didn't see him as an inventor chasing another inventor's success. We saw him as an innovator who knew that what might look like failures to some, but was really innovation about to bloom. This is what I want you to see in your business. This is what I love. You never quite know what is in store for you today or tomorrow. So I just want to say, hey, I've really enjoyed this 3-part series. I'll put in the link, the other two, part 1 and part 2. But come, book a chat with me. There's a link in the chat, wherever the chat is. I've got to figure out where the chat is. I don't know where to point to. And come, let's talk. Let's talk about how we can overcome what is stopping you from getting to the next level. Whether it's fear, whether it's overwhelm, maybe you need more processes. Maybe you need logical processes that just give you the step-by-step instructions. 1, we do this. 2, we do that. That's what I do. This is what I help you with. Whether it's Facebook Lives, like I'm doing here, Instagram, or LinkedIn. At the moment, I've got a limiting belief going on. Well, I've got an argument going on between me and LinkedIn because they have restricted my account and I don't know why, and nobody will talk to me. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm just going to move on. So it's been such a pleasure to talk to you and to have you visit me with this 3-part series on fear. Drop in the chat, #replay. What would you like me to talk about? Would you like to come on live with me? I'd love to invite you, and we can talk about the fears and the processes, everything that you need. Or, like I said, there's book an appointment with me and we can chat. A coffee and a chat. I haven't even got my coffee with me. It's terrible. But, or my cup of tea. But this is Beryl from BBK Mentoring going, stay home, stay safe. Love you all. We're going to be out the other side of this, but while we're waiting for Mr. COVID, the elephant, to disappear, hey, let's build a business together. Anyway, this is Beryl signing off. Bye. Thank you. Bye.